Well, one of New York's very own has made it to the finale on America's Got Talent. Take a look at Gina Brillon, who's from the Bronx, killing it with her honest talk about her wedding vows.
I was so nervous to get married because my husband wanted us to write our own vows. And I grew up a tomboy. I'm a little Puerto Rican girl from the South Bronx, man. I got a thick skin, and I was so afraid that my vows were gonna be the most New York gangster vows. I was so afraid that I was gonna get up there and be like, yo, I dead ass love you, son. On God, I love you, man.
Welcome to the PIX11 Morning News, Gina Brillon. On God, son, on God.
Hi, everybody.
First of all, congratulations on everything. And thank you for joining us. I know you're in straight from LA. You got the baby in the background. So, first of all, did you watch the VMAs? Did you recognize any of those faces? Because we're viejo over here. We don't recognize anybody.
I feel so out of the loop. I'm like, do I just listen to the same 6 songs? Like, why don't I know nobody no more? I'm like, what do I have on repeat?
Yeah, exactly. We're in the same boat. We have nothing in common. Puerto Rican, South Bronx. I think I'm funny. You are funny. I think people laugh at me. They're not laughing with me. But I want to talk about one of your performances at the Comedy Club, because this is like quintessential Castro family dinner conversation. We talked about the girls we grew up with around the way, down the block, yo, I knew this girl. And we were really talking like Rosie Perez. And in one of your bits, you talk about how, you know, one day all the girls who tried to talk like Rosie Perez would have to grow up and get a job. So let's take a listen.
What if you walked into a courtroom and your lawyer was like, but he did it, Your Honor? No, because you're looking at him like he's guilty when I told you he did it. Did I win yet? I won yet? I won? No, you gotta specifically tell me.
We laugh because these are our people. I say all the time,
yes.
these are our people.
What do Latinos love to do if not poke fun at each other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's how we show our love. You have been performing since you were 17 years old, which was just 2 years ago, apparently.
Of course, obviously.
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
What was your inspiration to come up with comedy? Because I'm always fascinated by comedians because you make it seem effortless.
That's the trick. There's an enormous amount of effort, but we do make it look effortless. Comedy, I fell in love with comedy at 14. I saw my first stand-up comedian at 14 years old, and it hit a chord in me, and I was like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And it just never changed. There was always like, maybe I could do this and comedy, but comedy was like always there, and it was always the dream. So for me, it was just undeniable when I first saw my first comedian that I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I have no idea how. I have no idea how to start, but it's going to happen.
Who was that first comedian that you saw that you were like, I can do that?
Brett Butler. Brett Butler was the first comic I watched, and I thought, what is this? Because, you know, growing up watching Latino television, I would see, you'd see women on there, but they were either dancers or literally dressed as clowns or barely wearing any clothing. And so it was the first time that I had seen a woman just controlling a room with just her wit and her intelligence. And I was so impressed and just in awe that immediately I started watching every kind of comedy I could. I watched, after I saw Brett, I watched George Lopez, George Carlin, who is my favorite. And I would just watch these comedians and be like, I don't know how to get it, but I'm not going to stop until I'm there.
Right, right. Well, we are rooting for you for tonight, for America's Got Talent. What's going on in that brain of yours as you prepare?
Well, the show is tomorrow, and tonight is the last day for practice. Uh, it's the finale, so it's like I have a chance to make history. I could not only be the first comedian to win, but definitely the first Latina who is a mom, you know, to take home the gold for that. And that's the big part of this. The big dream is, I get to prove to people that not only does comedy deserve a seat at that table of winners, but that it was done by a Latina.
Yes, Queen, from the Bronx, BX.
That's right, from the Bronx.
We are rooting for you. Break a leg. We want you back when you bring home the gold.
Yes, thank you so much.